Hello, welcome to my channel. You might be a creative person and might be looking for ways to express your creative ideas. Today, I'm going to introduce such a software. It's named Sketchup Pro. Sketchup Pro is widely used in engineering. Sketchup Pro is a design software, and in this tutorial, I'll be presenting the basic interface and some essential tools with which you will be able to start your work. This is a multi-part series and it will have at least 7 episodes. So let's see what Sketchup Pro can offer. I've already installed Sketchup Pro in my computer, and I'm trying to open it right now. Sketchup Pro is a paid version, but Trimble Software allows you, the makers of Sketchup Pro, allows you to use it as a 30-day trial version. So I'm using a trial version right now. The first thing that you will have to do, select the units of measurements, and there are many units of measurements depending upon what you are planning to make. I'm going to select centimeters, so architectural centimeters. I click that, and then Sketchup Pro will get initiated. This is the standard interface that you see. So there will be a person here. This object is there to show us the relative size of things that we are planning to make. So if we don't want, we could actually select this. What I did was I created a box from left to right. So it's a selection box left to right. So this gets selected, and then you can press the delete button on your keyboard. The next thing that I will do, go to View Toolbars, and then I'm going to select Large Toolset. So this is the basic interface that I'm going to use. Press close when you're ready. Then the next setting that I will do is I will go to Window, Model Info, and then I will select Units. Window, Model Info, Units. And then here again, you could select the units. So because we selected centimeters in the beginning, that's why you are seeing it here. And two settings that I will do is, so I will uncheck enable length snapping, and I will also uncheck enable angle snapping. I will explain this later, what is the meaning of this length snapping. Essentially, at this point, you just need to remember that snapping is a term used where when you move your cursor, it can kind of get attracted to, like a magnet, to certain points on your screen. With this, we are ready to start, and I'm going to introduce some tools. You don't need to wait till the end of this video to like and subscribe. So the first tool is the line tool, keyboard shortcut L. Keyboard shortcuts are very, very important in computer-aided design programs when you use programs like Sketchup, because that will immensely help you to speed up your work. So I will always use keyboard shortcuts, and I will also tell that to you so that you can also remember that, and you can also practice it. So make it a habit. That's my recommendation. So I pressed L. So here there are 3 axes. The common meeting point, this is known as the origin. And from here, I could draw it in any direction on this plane here. So suppose I want to draw this in this red axis direction. On bottom right hand corner, you will see something known as a box. It's known as a value control box, where it's written length and a box. So this is a place where we could input values to SketchUp, and this is also a place where SketchUp will show values of objects. So this is both an input area and also an output area to see certain measurements. And this is a very, very important part of the interface that we will be using quite a lot while we make SketchUp models. Suppose if I want to create a 20 centimeter long line along this red axis, so I just need to press 20 cm and press enter. Now you can see that I'm zooming in using the scroll wheel, and I can see that there is a line segment that is created which is 20 centimeter in length. Now if you want to exit from any of the tools, press the space bar here. So I have come out of that tool, and then I'm in the selection mode, which is indicated by this black cursor. Now I would like to zoom in a little bit so I can use the scroll wheel. But here you will experience that the more I zoom in, the farther away this object moves away from the viewpoint. So in those cases, I will have another tool named pan tool, which which can actually maintain the same point of view. So what I did was I just clicked and dragged so that I can easily see the line object, and I just zoomed in a little bit. So here is our line object. Now if you want to see whether I've created this line segment with the actual dimension, I could always use the dimension tool here and then click on these two, the beginning and the end of this line, and then it will show you the distance, okay, along with its unit. Now I'm continuing the line segment, press L. See, from here I'm going to draw in this perpendicular to this red axis. So here when I extend, you could see that there is a dotted line appearing. This is known as inferencing. So essentially I'm telling the program this is the way I would like to draw. Click and then show the direction in which it should be drawn, the line should be drawn. And if it is 20 centimeter, please pay attention to the bottom right corner in the value control box, 20 centimeter, enter. So you can see that the second line segment is created. And in the same way, I'm creating the third, and I'm just completing all these 4 line segments. When all these 4 line segments are created, an object or a plane is created, a closed object is created. That's why it changed color. The next tool in SketchUp, a very powerful tool, it's known as the push-pull tool. So SketchUp is essentially, the basic idea is you sketch something and then in 2 dimension, and then you give a 3rd dimension to make it a 3D object. That's it. So here in our case, we have a 2D object here on this plane, essentially a square that we have created 20 centimeter on every side. And then I'm calling this push-pull tool, keyboard shortcut P, and this is the tool, push-pull. Here there is a tooltip, so as beginners that's also very good for us. So I clicked P. Another thing you should remember is the shape of the cursor. That's with every tool that you select, the shape of the cursor changes. So that's a way in which SketchUp tells the user what's happening. Okay. You can also see, you should also see the bottom right hand corner where my cursor is right now. It also tells you, especially when you are in the midst of a command, midst of using a tool, it will tell you what happens next. Okay, so I'm going to click this face, and then I'm going to show the direction in which move this face. Okay, and if I want SketchUp to move this face 20 centimeter in that direction, type 20 cm, press enter. Please also remember I could enter any unit. For example, it could be 20 millimeter, 20 mm. It could be 2 meter, 2 m. So it's very easy, 2 inch, whatever you need. You can just type in the value here. Typing in like this is the most accurate way to enter values into SketchUp. We have created a cube now, and now yet another tool. This is known as the orbit tool, keyboard shortcut O. What it does is it allows you to kind of orbit around the object. So what I'm doing is just clicking and dragging so that I can move around the object and I can see all these faces of the object. Why this is important, I will just show you why. See, for example, I want to apply a material here. So I should go back to the selection mode by pressing the space bar. Apply a material to this. I need to use the paint bucket tool here. Then I need to select the materials. For example, if I want, say, metal, then so I've selected rusted metal. Then click here. So I've applied that particular material to that face of that object. And as you progress, you will realize that this orbit tool is a very powerful tool and you will be using this all the time. At this point, I would like to tell you about 3 ways of selecting objects in SketchUp. One way is from creating a box which encloses the entire object from left to right, just like this, so that the entire object is selected, which is indicated by these bounding box like this. Now, if there is another selection, which is a selection box that you create from right to left. See here? So the difference is left to right selection, it's a continuous line. Right to left, it's a kind of dotted line that you see here, right? Or whatever sides this selection box touches, that is selected. See here? It's not the entire object. Whatever it touches, that is selected. Now, yet another way of selection, that is, if you click an object 3 times in quick succession, that is triple click, you can select that object as well. See? So 3 ways of selecting an object. So I'm going to select this object and I'm going to delete it by pressing the delete key. Moving on to the next, a very, very useful and important tool, rectangle tool, keyboard shortcut R. So in SketchUp, how things work is you create, there is a set of very simple tools to create very simple shapes, and then you combine these shapes to make much more complex shapes. Yeah, that's how SketchUp works. So in our case, I'm going to create a rectangle, say 20 centimeter by 40 centimeters. So here, it's simple. Select the rectangle tool R, select a starting point. I'm starting from the origin. Show the direction of this rectangle. Then type in the values. Say I need 20 centimeter, 20 cm. Here, please pay attention to the value control box at the bottom right corner. So what I did is 20 centimeter, comma. So comma separates. So it's like X and Y value that you are applying. 20 centimeter in this direction and 40 centimeter in this direction. Remember, you can always check the accuracy of what you did by using the dimension tool. See here. So you could see the dimensions. Now, please remember the dimensions that you create like this are dynamic. That means if you change any of these sides, these values will change automatically. I will show you how you can do that. So I'm going to select this rectangle. I'll go to the selection mode by pressing the space bar, and I will just triple click. So I've selected this. I'm going to scale this rectangle. So that's the keyboard shortcut is S. And here, if I use this handle over here in the midpoint of this side, I could see I'm scaling it. And if you see the value control box, the scale factor is there. So if I want 50%, I could either type in or I could bring it in here like this. And you notice that this dimension also changes dynamically. So you don't need to bother about the dimensions. Once you put them in, they will change according to whatever changes you make. Okay, so that's scale tool, keyboard shortcut S as well. Suppose if I want to delete these dimensions, I just need to click here and then I could delete them. If you have questions related to what I have presented, please don't forget to write your comments and suggestions in the comment box below. Till next time, bye-bye.